Welcome to Rubido Tarot. Today I have a pick a card reading for you. The question is, okay, I can't remove that. The question is, what parts of me are currently unlocking? So I have 3 stones for you to choose your groups from. If you're most drawn to this first stone, which is, I think, Lepidolite, this is for group 1. Group 2 is going to be this rose quartz. And group 3 is this little blue guy that I don't know the name of, but if anybody knows what kind of a stone this is, please let me know in the comments, because I've been trying to ID it for like a week now, and I am all out of ideas. So, select whichever stone or stones you're feeling most drawn to, and I will see you at your reading. Okay. So, if you chose the Lepidolite, welcome Group 1 to your reading. Spirit, which parts of Group 1 are currently unlocking? Which parts of Group 1 are currently unlocking? I'll take the bottom card. Seems relevant. Is there anything final? Anyone want to know about what parts of me currently unlocking? Yeah. Alright. Okay. Do we want to start here? So straight away, Group 1, before we even pull any other cards, what I'm already seeing is, well, I mean, you can't get any clearer than that. Healing and health. So I definitely think that your physical body and your physical health is definitely improving, and I also think that that is connected to like your zest for life, and I think these actually are interconnected. First of all, I already see we have 29 reduces to 11 because 2 plus 9 is 11. Then we had on the bottom of the deck, when I first pulled this card, another 11. So 11, 11, or just 11s or 1s. I mean, you are group 1. So 11s and 1s might be significant for you, or 11, 11 might be some sort of like angel number or something that you might want to look into, or you might be seeing a lot. I just pulled this other card. It didn't like totally come out, but it was like, it almost like popped out of the deck. And I think this is just confirming what I was already picking up. But 3s also might be significant to you at this stage in your life. But what I'm already seeing is, with this healing card, part of the spell, this is a magical spell deck, but part of the spell, and the part that's quoted on the card, says, "Candle flame, burn this hour, bring to me your healing power." And the passion card says, "Rise passion, rise up high, inflame my purpose, reach the sky." What I'm already getting from this is that inner fire, that passion that you feel, let me rephrase that. Now, in various esoteric traditions, there's this idea that your soul, or like your driving force in life, it can be likened to a flame within. In Vedic tradition, this is Agni, but regardless of whatever origin we're talking about this, the sense I'm getting is that the things that you are passionate about in life, whether they be art, or I'm trying to think about like what different hobbies people have, or what different passions people have, whether it is like some sort of physical discipline, some sort of exercise, or gardening, or whatever, that cultivation of your passion is like stoking that inner fire. And that inner fire is that spark, or that flame of the divine that resides within you as a soul in a human vessel. And the reason why I also say that is because in this passion card, I'm assuming that this is depicting Eros and Psyche. In Greek, Psyche is the word for soul, and it's a whole long story why, like, in modern parlance, that is the word we use more for, like, the psychological state. But I'm not going to get into a whole treatise on modernity and psychology and that whole... Wow, I'm really blanking on the word for it. Anyway, Psyche is the Greek word for soul. Yeah. I'm just like thinking like, is that true? Yes. Okay. And Eros is the divinity that represents divine love animating the soul and awakening the soul to its divinity. And I won't, describe all of the archetypal meanings in the Eros and Psyche myth, but what I am seeing here is that what is unlocking for you right now is improved health and, more of a sense of presence and embodiment in your physical reality, like in your present moment, in your body, in your life, thanks to the cultivation of those things that set your soul on fire. That sounds actually really violent. By set your soul on fire, I mean like that really like light you up. So I think additionally that you're coming into a time of improved health and more physical vigor and vitality, so that you can embody your soul's purpose more. You're being basically given being given the resources physically, in terms of, I don't know if, and I can certainly relate to this, if any of you have been having like a chronic health issue or chronic fatigue, or been feeling just really flat or out of it, just not feeling good in your present life, in your present reality, but cultivating that which makes you feel, good about being alive, or feels like, this is the thing that really, that I'm supposed to be doing, or that feels like I'm meant to be doing this. As you come into that in this time, you'll also be feeling much better just being like physically alive throughout the day. So I think also, as you do become more vibrant and alive, that it also will help you, well, one, it will help you to feel more connected to the rest of the world. Maybe you've been in a sort of like hermit isolation phase, and as you feel more alive and also feel more connected to your own soul, and feel more like you have a sense of what you're here to do or to experience, it will help you feel more at home and at peace in the world. And also, you might be feeling more connected to nature. You might be feeling called to look into like natural remedies or herbalism as part of your passion, or just to facilitate any healing that you're doing on a physical level. I think it will also be very helpful for you to spend time outside in natural settings to recuperate in any places you feel like have been lacking. But aside from physical health, I think also you're healing on a heart level. As you stoke the flames of this passion, I think it is returning you to your heart. It's restoring and replenishing your heart after a period where you've maybe felt disconnected from any sense of purpose, not just for yourself personally, as in like your own soul's purpose, but maybe if you've been feeling dejected about the state of the world and feeling like what is the point of any of this shit, I think you're unlocking and uncovering those things that make you feel like you see the value in your life, in these life experiences, and you also feel more connected to others and more positive and hopeful about the world at large, as well as your own personal life. And I say that about the heart because, this is kind of like an olivey green, but I still consider it a green. It's like kind of brown. I wouldn't like otherwise necessarily like see this color green as corresponding to the heart chakra, but I'm gonna take it along with the pink here, which corresponds to the higher heart chakra. And additionally, before we move on from these cards, that as you do cultivate this passion and also tend to your heart, as well as your physical body, you will then have things to share with the world at large. And connecting to the world and sharing your passions and your purpose, which I am seeing because this blue is reminding me of the throat chakra. And also the number 3, I think of it as talking about the Empress, about fertility and abundance, and also creativity. I think you'll see those positive effects from developing and tending to your inner fire and tending to your heart and pursuing your passions and discovering your passions. It will only become more abundant and more manifest, if that makes sense. Like, as you share with the world and as you reach out more and express yourself and communicate these things out into the world, you will connect with others and find it a really fruitful and more affirming experience as a result. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm thinking also that getting into a routine of some sort of physical movement, it doesn't have to be like rigorous exercise, but anything, whatever you enjoy the most, that you can consistently do as a way of getting some physical movement in, I think that will also really help you with any healing that you're doing on any level, whether it's physical or emotional. So yeah. So Spirit. What? Parts of group 1 are currently unlocking. Ooh. Oh, I love the way these shuffle. Shuffle like a dream. So we have house 9 with spiritual growth. Oh my god. You see that? You see that little candle? And look, it's in a heart. And the heart has wings. Ah, I love the synchronicities. So that's honestly just, God, it's so fucking cool. I don't know if I should swear or not. Hope no kids are listening. If look, my parents swore when I was little, and I think I turned out relatively okay. That was not the reason why my childhood was messed up. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Sagittarius, which is the natural ninth house with optimism, exploration, and freedom. And again, we have that image of the Hoyt with the candle. I'm gonna pull a few more before we get into it. Spirit, what parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? Ooh. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I will explain. I just want to get the rest of the cards up. I should make sure that the camera's still working. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I have the littlest. I have the hands of a baby, so it's often very hard for me to shuffle. Like, honestly, half of the decks I own. I am very small, so bear with me. This might get chaotic. Spirit, what parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? Interesting. I'm sorry, I keep making so many sounds. Oh my god. I don't mean to do that. Okay. Group 1, please. What parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? Oh! What? Sorry. What parts of group 1 are currently unlocking, Spirit? Move your little rock over there. And like this adjustment might take a minute because I'm very anal retentive. Clarify Sister Wind, please, Spirit. What does this mean for what parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? keep doing that. I don't mean to. Man, I don't know how to put this. Okay. Well, I'm covering these up, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Because I don't know where else to put them. Wait, no. I thought I had an idea, and then I realized I don't. So, actually, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. I think we can do this better. I hate it when things don't line up. This goes with this. Okay. Can we clarify temperance in reverse, please, Spirit? For what parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? I don't know if those were supposed to come out. It's meant to come out, it'll come back out. Spirit, what parts of group 1 are currently unlocking? Okay. I'm gonna take that as reverse. And can we clarify the 2 fire, please? So, group 1. Now, what I'm seeing, I need to stop trying to make this straighter. It's just not gonna happen. Okay. So anyway, what I'm seeing with all of these cards, now, what I was saying at the outset, that potentially you've been in a lull phase or at a low, in maybe a hermit phase or isolation phase. I definitely think you've been in a really rough cycle up to the present with the shadow in the ring here. This is a 48, by the way, for the shadow, and this is 57 for the ring. Oh, actually, those reduced to 12 and 12, which are both then reducing to 3s. So we have 3 3s here. So 3 is definitely a significant number. What I am seeing here is you've definitely been facing shadow aspects of yourself in the cycle of your life that you've currently been in or have been in the recent past. But I see from this that, how do I put this? Now, with House 9 and with Sagittarius, I won't classify it as good or bad, or positive or negative, or developed or undeveloped, but a possibility in the ways that manifests is, or for somebody with a lot of 9th house placements or Sagittarius placements in their natal chart, a lot of the time, or some of the time at least, it can lead to looking outside of yourself for answers, or looking for, external forms of escape, not exactly the way that a Pisces placement or a 12th house placement would pursue that, but in terms of thinking far into the future instead of dealing with the realities of your present life. Since the 9th house in Sagittarius is about travel, about, future plans, it's always about something beyond in a broader sense. And, certain manifestations of that could be like wanderlust, always like needing to travel or explore outside of oneself. And that can manifest as a shadow aspect when that is coming from a place of trying to escape the reality of your life and yourself internally in a present moment, that especially if you find it difficult to bear the circumstances of your reality. What I'm seeing here is that what you've been doing, and you might be at different phases or stages in this. You might be just starting to face your fears or face certain dark aspects of either your past or your present reality or your internal state or certain hard truths in general in your life. You might have been doing this for a while, or you might be coming out of a cycle of really intense shadow work, which is to say really intensely facing a lot of hard things that get dredged up in different life scenarios that, trigger those parts of ourselves that come from being wounded, being mistreated or neglected, especially as a child, but in general as a person. What I get from this is that most of you are coming out of this cycle. But again, take whatever does hit. It seems like for most of you, this is a cycle that is breaking. And what I'm getting from this, with the spider card especially, looking so similar to these two cards, what I'm seeing is, for one, some of these darker perceptions of your life, you are combating as what I'm seeing is that what you're doing, what you're unlocking, group one, is the ability to take all of the darkness that you have had to contend with in your life, and you've been sifting through all of those shadow aspects, all of those fears, all of those dark thoughts and negative perceptions of whatever you've been dealing with in life, and you've been working through them and transmuting them into your strength and into something that sustains you. This spider card talks about creating a net of security, both material security and, like more on a personal, spiritual level, that security for oneself and one's loved one through creativity, or, in this case, creativity isn't just, doing, like, making paintings. What I see as creative, whether you make visual art or something more traditionally, like, artsy or not, is you're taking a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of stuff that most people would just let fester or wouldn't ever even, like, begin or bother to begin to unpack in those darker parts of their psyche. And you've been taking the things that have harmed you or that have made your life feel dark and made the future feel foreboding, and instead of escaping from them or fleeing from them, you've sat with them and transmuted them and woven them into a better way of being and doing and living for yourself. Something that is sustainable and healthy and that sustains you. And from a negative cycle that you haven't necessarily initiated yourself. Maybe this is from difficult family backgrounds, or, things that were just really not your fault, but, like, ended up becoming your burden in life. You turned those hardships into advantages, or you're in the process of doing so. And your purpose that you're currently unlocking or stepping more into is very much connected to this work that you've been doing on yourself and on those darker parts of your life experience. I think that this cycle of shadow work has been, it's, let's be real, it's a bitch. Like, I say it for honestly, like, I can relate to this spread a hell of a lot. You're finding that in that darkness, in the shadows, you're finding that light, that flame within you. The way I'm seeing it is like, and this is a thing that I've also had an experience of myself, is when it feels like you can't get any lower and you hit rock bottom so hard. In that darkness, sometimes, if you can stand it long enough, and again, I know a lot of the time it is so hard to do that, but if you sit in it or pass through it long enough, you encounter that light within that is your soul, and that is that little spark of God that animates you. And I think this incredibly hard cycle you've been going through, and I have been through this, and I know that a lot of the time you don't want to hear someone say, this is a learning experience or a growth experience. Nobody wants to hear that love and light shit when everything feels like it's been lost and you feel like you can't take anything else and that you can't get any lower. But if you have not yet clicked out of this video after hearing that, then maybe you have also found or are coming to find that these darkest moments of your life have been the very places where you have come closest to God and to your own soul. A lot of the time when you hit a really dark point in your life, it can be very challenging to clear away the confusion. Sometimes those moments are very clarifying. Other times, especially if you're dealing with intergenerational cycles of trauma, those things can actually obscure your perception and can keep you from seeing life and the world as worthwhile. And so I understand just how hard it can be to hear, taking the darkness and transmuting it and turning these setbacks into advantages. I think you've also been really struggling with seeing the world as a place that you can be safe in, a place that you can explore in and feel passion in. I think you've been going through points or a moment where maybe basic, bare minimum things like your physical health or, your financial security have been so precarious that, it's like, how can I cultivate passion when I feel like I can barely get through the day? And that's totally understandable, and I have frequently been there, and I'm with you on that. But what I see is that you have hit the absolute lowest. I'm seeing that in the tarot. We have the Sister Wind in reverse is the Page of the Page of Swords in this deck, clarified by the Three of Fire, the Three of Wands, described as the birth of light. We have Temperance in reverse, which is the card corresponding to Sagittarius in astrology, clarified by the Emperor in reverse, which represents Aries. And then we have the Two of Fire, or the Two of Wands, Convergence, clarified by Five of Earth, or Five of Pentacles with the Nadir. So you've been clearing out a lot of negative perceptions, and whether they've been things that others have put upon you that you internalized throughout your life, or whether they are fears or distorted perceptions related to your own life circumstances, making you feel negative about the future or without hope in the present. I think you've been doing a lot of work to dismantle a lot of that negative thinking and programming, and your hard work is paying off because with the birth of light, as you clear like the fog away, you're getting, I think of the three of fire here, in the Rider-Waite deck, somebody expecting their ships to come back in after the deliberation point seen in the Two of Wands, where somebody decides on where they're going to direct their will. The Three of Wands is them waiting for the return on that investment. With the Two of Fire, the Two of Wands here, and clarified by the Five of Earth, you made a decision to address scarcity mindsets, but also other ways in which you have maybe felt like you don't have the resources, whether it's because you've been spreading yourself too thin, or you've been going about things in an unsustainable way in your life, or if this is referring to you coming up against negative programming that you've absorbed throughout your life as you have been trying to make your way in the world and in life. You might have come to a sense of, I have faced the absolute worst that anyone can experience, or like I have hit the very bottom, and everything that could have possibly gone wrong has gone wrong. So there is literally nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose anymore. And also, I know now that everything that I feared would happen has happened, and I'm still alive, and I'm still here, and I can survive anything that comes my way because I've already done it, regardless of what material losses you may have incurred. I think you've discovered something that nobody can ever take away, and that thing is your soul, and it's your strength. I think additionally, you may have experienced a burnout, especially with all of these health cards, and then with this, what I'm seeing about, not having the resources, hitting lows, as well as with this card relating to like creating material sustenance for yourself and a security net for yourself. I'm also seeing, though, especially with the Temperance card in reverse, clarified by the Emperor in reverse, Temperance refers to the transmutation that we were getting at with the spider here. But I'm also thinking of Temperance as, that equilibrium. And it's very key when it comes to that equilibrium to go within and internally regulate your environment, or not your environment, your internal environment, and your responses to things that you encounter in life and in the world by taking a pause or a step back and having check-ins with yourself about, where you're at, what resources you have. When I see it clarified by the Emperor, you may have been operating in ways that are the norm in our society currently, when it comes to like hustle culture and like having to, just like work harder. And you may have been raised to believe certain things about what a person can have in life and about what kind of a person one is based on one's ability to operate according to normative ideas of productivity and of success in society. A lot of those ideas are symptoms of a toxic masculinity that has long dominated in the world. And this has nothing to do with if you are personally male or not. It has more to do with the idea of needing to constantly take action, oftentimes without thinking, or needing to go fast, but going fast nowhere, and just going fast and doing the same unhealthy things. Trying to hustle but working yourself to a point of exhaustion and then burning out because you can't sustain the pace or the lifestyle that is required. Prioritizing looking successful and productive to others while secretly you're suffering inside and can't keep it up. You may have also been expected to hide your feelings and suck it up and handle your emotions only through anger if you're feeling something that feels negative. Also, you may have prioritized rational thinking and logic above things that are more intuitive and present. All of these things that I am saying are just a few ways in which toxic masculinity might present itself, but there are others. You may have just had really negative experiences with masculine people, but I think the difficulties that you have had with your more feminine or receptive or intuitive and emotional sides of yourself are coming more into balance as you prioritize your well-being and prioritize working in a sustainable way and pursuing your passions without getting too ahead of yourself or without that being a way of escaping from your dissatisfaction with the present moment by focusing too much on the future and not being with yourself here and now. And it's very hard to practice that kind of presence when it feels like you've had nothing but losses for a long time. But I would say that through all of the L's and all of the bullshit that you have sat through, and I'm not saying sat through as in like you just like it happened because you weren't doing anything. And I think that's another thing with this Emperor in reverse. It might have felt agonizing to feel like you couldn't do anything and that you had to just accept the things that were happening. But through the darkness, you came to learn a lot about yourself and about life and about strength. The darkest hour is just before the dawn, right? And now you're coming into the light. It's very, very powerful. You're starting to see things with more hope and clarity, and things are looking up. That's through your commitment to your own healing and your commitment to cultivating the things that do light your soul up. Okay, so hi group one. So I had to actually stop in the middle of your reading. So this is a different day. I try not to move anything, but if it looks different, that's why. So we're gonna get into your advice. And this is the bottom of the deck. Nourish the Shadow. 33. Did I mention that 3s were pretty prominent for this deck? I mean, for this group? I can't remember if I did. I'm just looking now at all of the numbers we have here. This is a number 8. Oh, look at that little turtle. Oh my god, there's 2. I didn't notice that. That little guy. Just straddling Russia. Is this too chaotic if I put it here? I think it's okay. I'm counting. I'm counting. Right, okay, yes. 3s were prominent because this is 57. It takes me a minute to read Roman numerals. Like I said before, 11s and 1s and 3s seem particularly prominent for you guys. With the number 3, when I think of the number 3, I relate it to the Empress because she's the 3rd trump card in the Major Arcana. So when I think of the number 3, I think of, especially with your group, having the Emperor in reverse here and that clarifying Temperance in reverse. What I get from this is the advice to sort of move differently when it comes to, manifesting and achieving the things that you are working toward, as you are working with, I guess, with all of the things that you've learned in the dark, and as you are cultivating that darkness and, sort of probing it and transmuting it, and from that getting fulfillment, finding that spark of passion, nourishing that from that place, which I'm especially also getting with this Nourish the Shadow, as I'll just put it up here as your bottom card. When I think of the Empress, I think of the fact that she is replete, abundant, and with child all on her own, and the way that she brings life into the world, and the way that you're being encouraged to work with this energy right now as you cultivate whatever you're working toward specifically. It's going to be different for each of you when it comes to this passion and also the things that you are healing. A baby gestates over a course of 9 months. That is a cycle. And you can see, in this Nourish the Shadow card, I'm being drawn to the triple moon, which, shows a lunar cycle, really. From new to waxing crescent to full, then to waning crescent, and then back to the new moon again. So you're definitely being advised to operate more from a, when I say from a place that honors the feminine, because you can hear that and it's like, well, what the hell does that mean, really? That just sounds like a bunch of wee woo babble. But what I think of when I think of that feminine way of operating is here and now, being present with the realities that are given. And those aren't the end all be all, but being centered in the current realities of life without despair at what those might look like. And sometimes that might be hard, but knowing that with these current circumstances, you are cultivating a better future for yourself. But it's a process that needs to be honored by doing it gradually, doing it sustainably, taking just little steps day by day, And with these turtles, slow and steady wins the race. The way that we generally are encouraged to try to, move forward in life, whether it's financially or whether it's with fitness or education, what have you, there is so much pressure to get there as fast as you can and do it harder and better than anyone else, and to not take breaks because sleep is for the weak, and you can sleep when you're dead, and work hard, play hard, and all that kind of bullshit. is what I see with this Emperor in reverse and the Temperance card in reverse. And it's challenging to operate in a different way and to honor the cycles of your body, the cycles of, and the timing and the time it takes for your body to, you know, recuperate if you have had like physical ailments, or to, you know, bounce back from burnout. I really feel like so many of you have been experiencing burnout. The guidebook to this card, the last line for the entry for this Nourish the Shadow is, your shadow is where your diamond lives. And I just think that is really a beautiful encapsulation of what I see with this, you know, this passion card and the healing card, and, you know, the idea that you're like churning the shadows, you're probing those shadow aspects of yourself that you've maybe tried to avoid, or not even tried to avoid, but just weren't necessarily conscious of if you were previously operating in this like running and gunning sort of toxic masculine emperor energy straight to burnout. I'm mainly getting that you're being encouraged to just take it at your own pace and just keep taking one step at a time. You can even break steps. I've found this especially useful, not to make this about me or anything, but I've found it especially useful, not only as somebody that has been recovering from, you know, burnout and trauma and a bunch of stuff myself, but somebody that is neurodivergent and can't operate in this sort of Emperor in reverse energy anymore in my life. If you take a step or like a thing on your to-do list and then you break it down into all of its constituent little parts, like, I mean, if you break it into too many steps, that in itself can look overwhelming. But if you think about it, like, okay, well, if I need to say I'm making a cake, I don't know. If I just write down make a cake, I might feel overwhelmed. But if I write down, okay, I'm gonna need a couple eggs, I'm gonna need this much flour, this much sugar, and then I write out the instructions, like step 1, whisk all of the liquid ingredients together. Step 2, mix all the dry together. Step 3, combine wet and dry. Step 4, you know, it makes it a lot more feasible to get from where I am at the start to a baked cake. So, final advice, Spirit, for group 1 at this time when it comes to what parts of them are currently unlocking. We have clarity, lemon. These are essential oil cards, by the way, so this is talking about lemon essential oil. We have trigger statement, I am so confused. True statement, I am present. Allow your mind to clear and let the noise of your thoughts fall away. Listen to your intuition. I think, when it comes to doing this healing and finding this passion within you, taking out a lot of time to just be with yourself and not listen to the noise of like anyone else on their respective bullshit is going to really help you center in yourself, in the present, ground into your body. And when you do that, it helps you connect more to your heart. It can be very easy, especially with all of the media content and so many things bombarding you in all areas of life potentially. You can definitely get really disconnected from your present, from your body, from your current environment, and from what you're actually feeling, and be stuck up in your head, ruminating about things that have happened or things that might happen, worrying about other people's stuff, and not just sitting with yourself and asking yourself how you feel, asking yourself what you feel is right. It's very hard. I'm not going to even say very hard. It's actually like kind of impossible to connect to passion. You know what this actually reminds me of? In the Eros and Psyche myth, I'm not going to get into the whole story. It's a long story, and you can find some insights in that if you look it up and read it. You might be drawn to that. But there's a point in this myth where Psyche, she's doing all of these tasks that Aphrodite, Eros's mother, says she has to do in order for her to be reunited with Eros. Eros being the embodiment of passion, divine inspiration, that is something that every soul can connect to. But, you know, she's doing all of these tasks for Aphrodite, and Aphrodite purposefully makes them impossible because she's one of those mothers-in-law. And at a certain point, Psyche opens one of the, this canister that Aphrodite, tasked her to get. Inside is, this poison, or, this, I don't know, I think it's a poison, or it's, a sleeping powder or something like that. But she ends up falling asleep under a tree. None of the tasks that she is doing to appease Aphrodite actually reunite her with Eros. It's only when Psyche opens this container up and it puts her to sleep and on the verge of death, but ultimately it stills her for a period. Only then does Eros come back to her and reunite with her, and they both ascend up to the heavens, to Mount Olympus. All of this is to say that you can't connect to that passion within you, or to what your heart and soul truly are moved by and find inspiring and are brought to life by, if you're running around and you have your monkey mind going a mile a minute, and you're not taking the time to just be still and clear all of that stuff out and be present and just feel what feels right for you as you take, or before you take a next step, before you start setting anything into motion. And I say this as somebody that has ADHD. I know how hard it can be to just calm down and just sit still and don't find 5 other things to do, because there's always something else that can be done. But if it's not coming from a clear intention, a centered place within yourself, if that makes sense, if it's not coming from your heart, and if it's, something you're just doing on autopilot, that's not necessarily where you want to be taking steps, because, what is the end result of that other than more burnout and more unhealthiness? So I really think connecting to nature, getting outside, getting fresh air can also help you connect more to your body and to appreciating the present moment, if you can do that. We also had come out Oh, also, this is for the third eye chakra. So, again, connecting to that inner vision, that intuition, looking within instead of heeding the advice or like the things that everybody else says you should be doing is essential for you to take steps toward actually being healthy and living a life that is fueled by that which lights you up. So both of these cards are solar plexus cards. We have confidence with Cassia. Trigger statement is, I can't do that. True statement, I am a light. Step forward and be the bright light that you are. Serve your purpose to the world by sharing your amazing gifts. And we have, with that, harmony. Topical just means, any essential oil applied to the skin. Trigger statement is, I'm boiling over. True statement, I allow myself to feel. Give yourself space to decompress and take time to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Allow emotions to surface and release. Again, with these, and nourish the shadow, what I'm getting from this is there will be things that come up as you take each step forward. Be certain fears, shame, guilt from past experiences in your life. All of this is saying overwhelmingly to please take your time with yourself. Be patient with the process that is unfolding for you right now. It is okay that you are still experiencing certain difficult feelings, certain feelings that feel negative as you go through this process. Healing is gradual. It does not happen, in my experience at least, you don't just purge something and then it's immediately completely gone and you never feel bad about it again. These things abate with time. You sort of cycle or circle around them, and with each passing bout of emotion, it gets easier and easier and lighter. But also it's okay if you feel very intensely down about something that you're working through right now and feel like, well, I was feeling fine about this. I thought I had cleared this up last month or a year ago. Why is this coming up again? Am I like slipping back? And the answer is no. It's just that these things, it would almost be more of a shock to your system if you just suddenly flipped a switch and everything was just like wiped, if that makes sense. And I know that's difficult to hear, especially as somebody that has thought in their own experience, like, if only it were that simple, if only I could flip a switch and just be done with all of this crap. But yeah, the emphasis here is on honoring the fact that healing physically and emotionally takes time, and also honoring your intuition. All of these things are things that aren't valued in the world that we live in currently, because this is a world that doesn't honor those things that are deemed feminine, like one's emotions, one's intuition. The gradual process of change, healthy, sustainable change over time, doesn't honor the cycles of nature or the cycles and processes of the body. So know that though it is hard and it can feel like you are surrounded by nothing but darkness, that when you operate from that place where you insist on honoring that more balanced way of being, that you are a light in the dark, and you will find more light and more things that honor and support that light as you do take each step forward in this process of actually connecting to what you know inside is right and healthy and true for you. Because when you move from that place, you're gonna find that the things that come into your life and the things that you encounter start to honor that too. It's gonna take some time, and it's gonna feel shaky, and it's gonna feel hard at times, and I can totally relate to that. So just know that you're You're not alone, even if it feels like that sometimes in this process. And that I, at least, completely understand what you're going through, and I see you, and I support what you're doing, even if nobody else around you does. I want to pull one more card for you guys. Maybe I want to pull two. I don't know. We'll see what comes out. I wanted to pull one of these crystal cards that I just got. Because I think they're just so nice. So, let's see. I am so bad at keeping things within a certain length of time. Even with a timer right in front of me, that I have no idea how long any of these readings are going to be, but, well, I guess we'll just find out. Okay, so, Spirit, can we get a crystal for pile 1, please? When it comes to what can best support them and assist them as these parts of them are unlocking now. Group 1, I mean. It's not really a pile. Ooh, thank you. Okay. We have red jasper. Yeah, the crystal for stamina and endurance. That is so pretty. It says body, vitality boost. The vibration is earthy. Red jasper is a powerful and energetic stone. It is the go-to crystal whenever you need extra energy or stamina, imparting determination to all pursuits and support during necessary conflict. Known as a stone of perpetual protection in ancient times, red jasper is an extremely stable stone, grounding all areas of life. It is a reliable support during prolonged illness or traumatic events, sustains and supports during periods of stress, and prevents burnout. Oh my god. I just love doing readings. It's incredible. This stone of health strengthens and detoxifies the circulatory system, the blood, and the liver. It is helpful for Hi, Group 1. I don't know why or how, but the video cut off, so I'm going to reread this red jasper card. It's the crystal for stamina and endurance, and it's connected mainly to the body. Vitality boost. Vibration earthy. Red jasper is a powerful and energetic stone. It is the go-to crystal whenever you need extra energy or stamina, imparting determination to all pursuits and support during necessary conflict. Known as the stone of perpetual protection in ancient times, red jasper is an extremely stable stone, grounding all areas of life. It is a reliable support during prolonged illness or traumatic events, sustains and supports during periods of stress, and prevents burnout. I just wanted to emphasize the burnout. So, anyway, this stone of health strengthens and detoxifies the circulatory system, the blood, and the liver. It is helpful for prolonged convalescence. Is that the right way to pronounce that, or is it convalescence? I think it's convalescence. Okay. Speeding up recovery time. Traditionally, red jasper increases fertility and overcomes impotence at any level. For the mind, it encourages assertiveness, enhances organizational skills, promotes self-honesty, and boosts creativity. And for the spirit, it assists dream recall and out-of-body journeying. It is red, and it's opaque, patterned, and often water-worn or tumbled. So, that is where we're gonna end your reading, Group 1. So, thank you for bearing with me in these trying times with these technical difficulties, but I am nevertheless very grateful for getting to do this reading for you. Please consider liking this video or leaving a comment about if it resonated or what your experience has been, or both. And consider also subscribing to my channel if you'd like to have more readings like this. I hope to connect again in future readings, but until then, thank you so much and take care. Bye. Hi Group 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose this rose quartz. So here's the thing. I shuffled all of your cards on camera, but I have a phone that has almost no storage space. And so after like 5 minutes, the camera just shut off. Actually, I did your entire reading, and then I found out that the camera shut off like 5 minutes in. So I'm just gonna talk you through everything that I just explained. It's unfortunate because it's really cool to see all of like the cards actually come out and all of the synchronicities, but I promise I didn't pull these out myself. Where do we start? So overall, Group 2, really your connection to the divine, expanding and opening up in ways that are new for you. I don't know if you've already been a spiritual person or if you've only recently started looking at things like tarot readings on YouTube, but the sense I'm getting is that you've been doing quite a bit of work on yourself and working to deprogram old limiting beliefs and thought patterns, old trauma responses, old wounds and past pains and insecurities that have kept you from living as your authentic self, and of feeling safe to do so in the world, and maybe even just feeling safe in your own body or in your personality, depending on what your past has been like. So we have authenticity. Number 10, who I truly am is good indeed. I am authentic in thought, word, and deed. We also have card 45 with dreams sweet, sleep deep. Sleep that's deep and lasts till morn, wondrous dreams for days reborn. And we have 39, safe home. I cast this circle round about, safety now is beyond doubt. So there may be an actual physical change in your environment right now. If you've been in a difficult living situation or work situation, maybe things are clearing up in that way. I get the sense overall, though, that both within and without, things that in the past have kept you hypervigilant or maybe masking certain aspects of yourself, especially if you're maybe neurodivergent, but anything that you might feel isn't socially acceptable about yourself, maybe certain dreams you've put on hold. It seems like those parts of you and those desires of your heart and soul are now surging into being. What's very interesting is that not only do you have a bunch of cards that indicate that you're unlocking a deeper connection to the divine. I am seeing, for instance, this card, the color makes me think of the crown chakra. You might be having like psychic dreams that are, full of insights into maybe things that have been holding you back. Or you might be connecting to your dreams more in a sense of like your aspirations in life. I think regardless, we're seeing not only an expansion in your connection to a sense of the divine beyond yourself, but I think that connection is strengthening as you connect more to the truths that you hold within, which I'm getting with the green here. That reminds me of the heart chakra, as well as the rose quartz, which is for the heart chakra, and this golden egg card in this deck. It is the card that corresponds to the heart chakra in this deck, and it advises you to take time and space and be still and tender with yourself to listen to the truths that your heart has to impart to you. So I think that you're coming into a time now where you're experiencing a lot more inner and outer tranquility, and a lot more inner and outer clarity and empty space that is free of the distortions and trauma and toxic behaviors and thinking that you might have been indoctrinated into in the past through your previous life experiences. And now that you've cleared away all of that stuff, as you do connect to the truths within your heart and soul and connect to those inner visions of what you dream of doing or what you dream of experiencing in life, or even simply connecting within to that which is true about you or is true for you, your true personality, feeling at peace within your body as it is, without feeling like, oh, if only this thing changed about me or that, then I would be okay, then I would be acceptable, and then I would be able to be myself. The more you come into embracing who you are without artifice, without performing to other people's standards or expectations, the more you, in other words, connect to your own soul and show up in the world as your authentic self, you will connect more to a sense of oneness with everything as you show up in the world as your authentic self. I think Spirit wants you to understand that existing as your authentic self and connecting to and communicating those truths of your heart and soul in the world is exactly what you were put on this earth to do. You were born to be exactly who you are. And I know that sounds simple and maybe kind of corny, but I'm gonna just move this card. I'm gonna put it sideways for now. So what I'm seeing with the tarot over here, we have the Six of Water, Six of Cups in reverse, with Faith in reverse, clarified by Sister Wind or Page of Swords in reverse. And we have the Star, clarified by the Two of Fire, Two of Wands, Convergence. And then we have the Hanged Man, clarified by the Five of Water or Five of Cups, Spilling in reverse, and the Tower in reverse. So what I get from this group 2 is a sense that you've definitely been through it, and I think you've been really working to unpack and process a lot of things, a lot of programming and reactions, like trauma responses, hypervigilance, and general discomfort in yourself and in life for some time now. This might have been an extended process where it seemed like not a lot was moving in your life with the Hanged Man. I think, though, that whatever challenges or painful experiences you had throughout life, maybe particularly recently, though, have brought you to a point where you've decided to be still for a time, or you're being encouraged to take a step back and reflect in order to flush out all of the negative conditioning that has taken you away from yourself. You're really entering a period of homecoming. And as you unlock who you are internally, your sense of the connection between you and your individual soul and every other soul and every other thing animated by the divine, every tree or bird or blade of grass or person or molecule or atom is becoming more apparent to you. You may have in the past felt very disconnected from anything like a higher power or a sense of having an authentic truth within you, or having a soul, or having an uncorrupted, intact self, of having a heart with untainted, undistorted truths within it. And you might have gone through life, at least for a time, looking around and feeling like, is this it? Is this all that there is? And is this all it's ever going to be? At least for me. And I think we experience that sense of alienation and disconnect from a larger unifying whole when we experience the sorts of conditioning that makes us believe awful things about ourselves, or that makes us feel like it's not okay to simply be the person that we are, or that keeps us from even knowing who that person is if that conditioning starts early enough. And when you experience certain things in life that make you feel unsafe in your environment or in your body or in having the personality you have, or maybe being neurodivergent or being different in some way, you get taken away from having much of a relationship with yourself internally because you're so focused on monitoring your external conditions for any sort of danger. So in a way, it's like you're connected with things beyond you in a way that is alienating and that is fearful. And in doing so, you also are alienated from your own self and your own internal sense of what is true and what is right for you. So I think now that you've been unpacking a lot of the conditioning that has made you so fearful of being yourself and feeling so unsafe in whatever circumstances you've been in, now that you're entering this period where things are easing up both externally and you've been healing a lot of the internal programming that makes you feel like it's not okay to be simply who you are, or to even explore what that might be. You're going to be connecting both to yourself within and to that which is beyond you in a way that is loving and unifying rather than fearful and alienating. Does that make sense? Because I'm having to re-record this, it's been harder for me to go through each card individually. So we have with authenticity here, we have a 10, which can reduce to a 1. Then with dream, sweet, sleep deep, we have a 45, which 4 plus 5 reduces to a 9. We have safe home, 39, which reduces to a 12, and then again to a 3. You have a lot of 12s in your reading, by the way, because we have house 12 here, and we have the hanged man, which is number 12 in the major arcana. You also have a few 8s. Maybe not a few, maybe a couple. The star, as card 17, reduces to an 8. Then you also have an 8 here with the ocean card, number 35. 3 plus 5 reduces to 8. You have the vision with card 55. So you got another 10 with that, which reduces again to a 1. And you have with the Anima Mundi card, which is Latin for world spirit, or world soul, you have card 78. 7 plus 8 reduces to 15, which again reduces to a 6. So you have quite a bit of Neptunian and also, I would say, Aquarius energy. So I will go through the tarot really quickly. The 6 of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio. The Star card is ruled by Aquarius, and the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus or Saturn, depending on which astrology system you're using. The Hanged Man is Neptune ruled. The Page of Swords in this deck is ruled by the last 3 signs of the zodiac, so Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. The 2 of Wands is Mars and Aries. You have the 5 of Cups here with Mars and Scorpio, and the Tower card, which is ruled by Mars. I personally, though, consider the Tower card actually ruled by Uranus, but, you know, that's just me. I see quite a bit of Aquarius and Pisces energy in your reading. Yeah, you might find at this time that meditation practice could be really beneficial for you as you unlock this deeper connection to the divine, both within and without. When I see this ocean card, I think of, it reminds me actually of the world soul, the Anima Mundi card, which I connect to the crown chakra, and that sense of being a soul that is connected to all that which is also animated by the divine force, which is latent in every single thing in the universe. But I also connect it to one's intuition, because I think of the moon with the ocean, and that I consider to be connected to one's third eye, which I think of as the inner wisdom you carry as an individual soul. With this vision card, I consider it to mean that you're connecting more to visions imparted to you from the divine or spirit, or whatever you want to call that overarching sense of God that unites us all. I also think of it as connecting more to your inner vision. Definitely with House 12 and Gemini coming out together, as well as with this authenticity card, which I connect to the throat chakra based on the colors. I think that you might be unlocking or tapping more into maybe your own abilities to channel divine wisdom, say as a tarot reader or what have you. But regardless of if you're doing that in a literal sense through a tarot reading, it doesn't really matter whether you're doing it in a really obvious way, like through a tarot reading, or not. What I'm getting most of all from this is that so long as you are showing up in the world authentically as yourself and pursuing the dreams that you hold dear in your heart and soul, and letting that be your guide, you are doing spiritual work, just being who you truly are on a soul level. So long as you're expressing yourself authentically, you are being a vessel for the divine. You are imparting divine truth and wisdom to others in your day-to-day. What's interesting to me, before we pull some advice for you guys, is how central your heart is to doing so. To connecting both to your inner vision and your soul and your own personal truth and true self, and to a sense of connection to something greater and to others. All of that comes from operating from your heart center, from taking the time to sit with yourself in the stillness and in the peace and quiet, and getting to know what your heart truly wants and needs and holds dear, and operating from that place, and your commitment to showing up authentically from that place, regardless of what anyone else is doing around or what anyone else might think of it. So I hope that made sense. I don't know if I hit on everything as well as I did the first time I explained all of this, but that's life, I guess. So we're gonna get you some advice now, group 2. Oh wait, I actually want to use this deck first. Okay, So, Spirit, what advice do you have for Group 2 when it comes to these parts of them that are currently unlocking? What advice do you have for Group 2, Spirit, when it comes to the parts of them that are currently unlocking? If you can hear my stomach growling, I won't apologize, because I'm hungry, but, ugh. But, that's what that sound is. It is my stomach, and it is growling. I don't want to take all those, that's a lot. Can we get one at a time, please? Spirit. What advice do you have for Group 2? What advice do you have for Group 2, please, Spirit, when it comes to the parts of them that are currently unlocking? Ooh, okay. Oh, wow, that's cool. This card, these two cards both came out. The last time they were under the other card that said no expectations. That card was number 22. It didn't come out this time, but I just wanted to mention that. So we have Shake, Release, Heal, Move On. It's card 27. And we have Metamorphosis. It's card 34. So what's interesting is the interplay between stillness and movement with these two cards, and with everything I'm seeing in your spread. This Shake, Release, Heal, Move On card, in this deck it describes a way of releasing trauma stored in the body, which is something that happens for those of us that have PTSD or CPTSD. Committing to a routine of some form of movement, it can be like shaking out the body especially, or like moving in circles. Like, I don't know if you've ever like done yoga, but it's sort of like cat-cow, but it's like you sort of like sit cross-legged and you move your torso in a circle. There are different ways that you can move your body that can help you release pent-up trauma that might be making you feel hypervigilant or uncomfortable in your body, or if you have certain trauma responses physically to things that you encounter in your day. I know from personal experience that doing yoga daily over, I guess like over a year now, has really helped me with my own CPTSD symptoms. Not to make this about me, but just thought that might help. Like, I can vouch for it. It works. The Metamorphosis card, though, actually reminds me of the Hanged Man, and like he almost reminds me of a little caterpillar, and its chrysalis just hanging off a branch somewhere. And thinking about that period of stillness and discomfort as the caterpillar, turns into juice and then reconstitutes itself into a whole new being, and then emerges out into the world as this beautiful butterfly. And I'm also seeing the butterflies in the Gemini card. What's that about? And in the Page of Swords card as well. Well, I think you're having a butterfly moment as you enter this period of peace and have been purging a bunch of stuff out. If you have been already doing forms of movement or other practices that have been helping you release any pent-up trauma or programming or stagnation in the body, I think you're coming into a time where your wings are unfurling and you're ready to flutter on out into the world as your true self. And it also might feel a bit shaky at times, and I think so long as you, in those moments, take a moment to return to your center and reorient yourself by taking a moment of quiet and stillness before you proceed further, can help you. I think also any movement, any sort of exercise or way of just like getting your body in motion and dispelling any pent up or stagnant energy can really also help you in this transition into a more authentic version of yourself. And it can also help you feel more comfortable being yourself in your body. So we're gonna pull a couple more cards. I should also say that making sure that you get like physical exercise or physical movement in can also really help with any because I'm seeing all of these cards that are connecting to like the higher chakras, so the heart, throat, third eye, and crown. It can be easy to get kind of disoriented or in your head at times when you are connecting more to the wee woo. So prioritizing practices that bring you back to your body and bring you back to your current reality are very helpful and healthy if you are somebody that is looking more into tarot readings or those sorts of things right now. So what advice do you have for group 2, Spirit? What can best assist them? What crystal or stone can best assist them now? I just like finishing a shuffle. Wow, okay. Oh my god, look. The crystal for personal transformation. Okay, you little... Well, I think you guys are butterflies now. I was gonna call you little caterpillars, but this is malachite. So these crystals all connect predominantly to either the mind, body, or spirit. So for malachite, it's the mind. It says emotional healer, vibration, earthy and high, breaking outworn patterns and unwanted ties, especially with people who drain your emotional energy or previous partners. Malachite releases toxic emotions and inhibitions, encouraging free expression of feelings. The release of a previously repressed emotion may induce a catharsis and require additional stones, such as smoky quartz, to calm the situation. Malachite alleviates shyness and supports friendships. The stone strengthens the ability to process information, helping to understand difficult concepts. The way it connects to the body is muscular and immune systems, joints, optic nerve, DNA, cellular structure, liver, pain receptors. And the spirit, it cleanses the soul, attunes to the angelic realm, and strengthens intuition and insight. It's green. It has concentric bands and rosettes and is often tumbled or polished. This is exactly what I think it's exactly what I was just saying with, releasing stagnant energy. But yeah, this is on theme. This also came out, Labradorite, the crystal for esoteric knowledge. This is so cool. See, this is why I like shuffling on camera. I'm not making this stuff up. It really is that crazy. So we have for Labradorite, spirit, aura protector. The vibration is high. This highly mystical crystal is a bringer of light, containing esoteric knowledge. Raising consciousness and connecting with universal energies, it takes you into another world or other lives. Protective Labradorite creates an interface between your own personal energy field and that of another person. Deflecting unwanted energies from the energy bodies and preventing energy leakage, it is excellent for screening yourself while allowing awareness of what is happening in another field. You do not take on thoughts and feelings, but remain objectively aware. This crystal opens intuition and activates psychic gifts. It draws messages from the unconscious mind to the surface, facilitating understanding internal conflicts and multiple agendas. It connects to the body through the eyes, brain, hormones, and menstrual tension. I don't actually know what that means. It's probably one of my many problems, so I guess I'll look that one up. But it connects to the mind it stimulates imagination, promotes rationality, and contemplation. It is grayish to black with blue, yellow, usually polished, dark until catches light, then iridescent blue or gold flashes. I'm going to show you my own Labradorite because I like to hold it when I'm doing readings for you guys. So this is what it looks like in person, well, on camera at least. It looks very pretty, especially in the sunlight. But yeah, as somebody that is a reader and also finds myself very sensitive to other people's energies and has definitely been dealing with this stuff myself, I find it very comforting to have with me, or just to hold, it just makes me feel a little better. But I'll put this with the rose quartz. We're gonna pull from one more deck. So, Spirit, what final advice do you want to give group 2? It is so hard to shuffle when I don't want to mess up the cards here. I'm working on a very tiny surface, so sorry that you can't see all of the cards, but you're just gonna have to deal with it. What final advice would you like to give group 2? As these parts of them are currently unlocking. Whoa, okay. I guess I'll take it. It's not really how I normally take cards that come out, though. We have letting go with cilantro. Trigger statement is, this is not the way it's supposed to be. True statement, I am free. Lift up your burdens and allow the divine to free you from them. Allow yourself to be cleansed of anything that is weighing you down. And this is with the sacral chakra, this is super relevant. Even though I only really see the sacral chakra with the ocean card here, but like I said, you know, there are definitely going to be physical symptoms of whatever negative programming and whatever trauma responses have been restricting you in life, which is why this physical way of releasing pent-up trauma is so relevant for you guys. But I'm gonna pull one more card because that one came out kind of weird. So, can we get one final card of advice for group 2, please, Spirit? Thank you. We have Insight, Clary Sage. This is the third eye chakra. Trigger statement, there is no hope. True statement, there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. And I think that's a beautiful way of summing up everything that we've just talked about. So, group 2, that is your reading. Thank you so much for letting me connect with you guys, and I hope this was helpful. If you liked this reading, please consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel. You could also do both. But regardless, thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you in the future. Bye. Hi, group 3. So, for those of you who chose this stone that I don't know the name of, this is going to be your reading. So, we're going to start with a couple of oracle cards. We'll also pull tarot, but I'm starting with an oracle deck today. So, Spirit for group number 3. What parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? What do you want group 3 to know about what parts of them are currently unlocking? Ooh. We have number 12, success. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor and integrity. What parts of group 3 are currently unlocking, Spirit? And we have number 21, sensuality. Your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. And these two numbers are mirrored, so you might be seeing those sorts of like mirror numbers. 3s also might be significant. I'm also seeing an expansion in your heart chakra, but we're gonna pull some more cards before I start getting into it. Look at this one. Spirit, I don't know why I said Spirit, for group number 3, please. What parts of group number 3 are currently unlocking? parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? Whoa, okay. Oh, I don't know if I said, we have the vulture card, and it is with the air element. And you had both Leo and Earth coming out, which would correspond to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And the 2nd, 6th, and 12th, whoa, not the 12th, the 10th house in astrology. So Leo, we have self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. And with the Earth card, we have persistence, patience, and practicality. Very interesting. Gonna put those here. And we'll pull one more oracle card before we look at the tarot. Spirit, what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? Ooh. Oh my gosh. That's so many. Okay. Ooh! I'm just really shocked and amazed. Group 3. These are all so lovely. We have the Starborn with another 3, and this came out with the Eros card. I think this would technically be upright. That's card 71, so that reduces to an 8, if that's relevant to you. And we have the Nectar card, which is card 58, which reduces to a 13, which reduces to a 4. I was just trying to do mental math. Okay, and we'll pull from the tarot, and then we'll get into it. Spirit, what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? Ooh, whoa. Oh my god. Every single group has gotten the Page of Swords. Sister Wind in this deck, but I don't know if this is supposed to be upright or in reverse. Okay, every single group has gotten her in reverse, so that's pretty crazy, if you ask me. Oh, I remember now why. For a second I was thinking, why does it seem like there is so much more space for group 3 on my little table here than there was for the other groups? And I remembered it's actually because I am gonna pull clarifiers, so I gotta make space for that. Okay, I'll put your stone in the middle. And that came out with the 6 of Fire, the 6 of Wands, which is called Glory in this deck. Spirit, what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? We have the Hanged Man. Another 12 with you guys for the Hanged Man. And I'll get one more card before we pull clarifiers. Spirit, what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? Ooh. Upright or reverse? Reverse. So we have the Chariot, which is card 7 in reverse. Did I say reverse twice? I don't know. Can we please clarify, Spirit, the Page of Wands? Ooh, the Page of Swords, and the Six of Fire, Six of Wands. The Page of Swords in reverse, I should say. Thank you. Okay, we have Temperance in reverse, clarifying the Page of Swords and the Six of Wands. Can we clarify the Hanged Man, please, Spirit, for what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? We have the King of Cups, which is Father Water in this deck, in reverse. And can we clarify the Chariot in reverse, please, Spirit, for what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? And we have the Ten of Swords, which is the Ten of Wind in this deck, the Way of the Cross in reverse, clarifying the Chariot in reverse. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers in reverse, Death in reverse, and then the Nine of Cups, Nine of Water underneath that, the Rainbow Mirror in reverse. That's on the top. Ooh, we have the Devil on the top. Underneath that is the Knight of Pentacles. I might not keep that in. So. And in the tarot, we have with the Page of Swords here in this deck. The Page of Swords represents the final 3 signs of the zodiac: Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. The Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. We have Sagittarius energy with Temperance here. The Hanged Man is Neptune energy, clarified by the King of Cups, which is the ruler of the final decan of Aquarius and then the first 2 decans of Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. And the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, and the Ten of Swords is ruled by the Sun in Gemini. And we have... Did I already mention all the numbers? Well, we have another 12, like I said. There's a 7 with the Chariot, and the Temperance card is number 14, which reduces to a 5. I should mention that we had the Temperance card in reverse, as well as the Hanged Man upright in other piles or other groups in this reading, so you might have been drawn to one of the other groups aside from this one. Well, group 3. What's unlocking for you at this point in your life is your passion for life. What I'm getting from this is, I didn't do this for any of the other groups, but I feel compelled to read the passage for the Vulture card of this deck. So, It says, vulture, guardian and purifier, essential for rebalance. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic, aggressive. To bring into balance, clean your space, sage. Here's what I'm thinking. I think you have been dealing with, I don't know how long, maybe this is something that started off very early in life, but I think you've had a lot of shame and also maybe guilt around who you are and what you appreciate in life and what way of living feels most fulfilling and meaningful and worthwhile to you. And I think you've experienced a lot of, whether intentionally or not, a lot of people putting you down or in some way trying to suppress you when you were trying to simply be yourself and do the things that make you happy, that don't hurt anyone else. I think you've maybe been in a period of stagnation that has felt really limiting in your ability to be yourself and embody the person that you want to be and that you truly are, and to express yourself creatively and to go about living life on your terms. I think you've maybe felt, or it's been programmed into you, that you can't love what you do for a career, or that you can't be successful were you to do something for a living that doesn't feel like drudgery, which I'm getting with the success and the sensuality cards here being kind of like reverse numbers, mirror numbers to each other, and seeing all over your spread things related to a sense of self-worth and self-confidence, feeling out of balance or not matching ideas you have about what it means to be successful, what it means to make advancements and progress in your life. And if you have been experiencing a time where it's felt like nothing has been moving forward, this time has been meant for you to take a pause and take stock of the things that you're doing or the ways that you're operating that don't honor what truly brings you a sense of fulfillment in life, that don't honor you as a person, and don't respect you and don't treat you like your needs or your wants matter. You're being urged to, if you haven't been already, to take a look at the things in your life that make you dissatisfied, the things that put you down or make you feel like you have to stay in the rat race, or make you feel like you'll never be able to live the life of your dreams. And that's not something that happens overnight, especially if you've been programmed in such a way where you were put down for being shiny and bright, and where your joy was not appreciated and your creativity wasn't appreciated, and you were expected to just put your head down and do what everyone else does and just, punch in at the start of the workday and work your hours, and who cares if it feels like shit. That's just the way it is. That's what life is. That's what work is. And that's just what you gotta do to survive. What's unlocking for you now is the ability to live a life fueled by passion. To live a life where you don't hide yourself under a basket. That's a weird analogy. Where you don't hide what it is that you're about. Where you put your fulfillment before others' expectations, before social conventions. Because if you're living according to somebody else's ideas of respectability or success or glory, according to other people's ideas of what sort of a person you ought to be, for one, you will never please everybody. There is always going to be someone that doesn't like seeing you in any way succeeding or thriving, however that looks to you. But additionally, if you decide to operate throughout life worrying about other people's ideas of what is okay for you to be, you will look back at the end of it all and feel like it was all a waste, like it was empty. If you were meant to live according to somebody else's ideas of what the right way to live is, you would be that person. You know, it's as so long as you're an adult, an able adult, you are entirely your own responsibility. And you are not beholden to anybody else's standards of success or anyone's ideas of what it means or looks like to be a productive person in society. I don't remember how I started that sentence. But I think you're in a period where you are clearing out all of the outdated programming, especially shame around being yourself and around how you go about like the things that make you happy in the day-to-day, doing those things freely without concern for how other people are perceiving you, and not comparing yourself to other people and how you might perceive them to be living, or the sort of person you might perceive them to be based on the ways they curate, you know, their Instagrams or whatever social media, or just like the public face you see, which can be a very different story from what those people are like when they're on their own. I think this is a time for you to align the person that you are truly when you're feeling free to be yourself and to enjoy life on your terms. Aligning that person within with the person that you are to the rest of the world, the person that you let other people see. You're releasing a sense of maybe where you have thought you should be by now, if you've been already pursuing your passions and trying to live life according to, trying to follow your dreams and somehow connect those to making a living for yourself. If that hasn't gone according to a timeline that you've been holding yourself to, I think you're either clearing that out now, clearing out that sense of disappointment, whether it's coming from within you or whether it's disappointment you've internalized from family or just society more broadly, and those expectations of how long it should take to get to whatever milestone of success, or whatever tangible, external, material token of success legitimizes whatever progress you've been making. And I think, like, I'm looking at these two cards, the Leo and the Earth card, and it's reminding me, like, with this Earth card, looking at this heart that's showing the cycle of life and death, along with these roses blooming from the heart, it's making me think of the Vulture card and picking through and clearing away all of the programming you've absorbed throughout life about, I'm especially drawn to this word practicality, about what you can expect or what is possible for you when it comes to the life you envision in your dreams versus the life you're experiencing in reality, and clearing out those limiting beliefs that make you think that doing the sort of work or living the sort of lifestyle that makes you feel most fulfilled and most yourself and most inspired and grateful to be alive, that's something that's for other people and not for a person like you. And as you're clearing that stuff away, you're creating the space within and within your heart and within your life for the flame of passion, of eros, of desire to ignite. And I think with that is also going to come a feeling of pride in yourself and a feeling of being at peace and in love with yourself and happy with who you are as a person, regardless of what other people say or think, because it's true to you and nobody can take it from you. You're finally at a point where you're kind of like, fuck it. I can't live according to what other people think matters or what other people think is where I should be by now. If I have to choose between disappointing people that would only accept me conditionally and don't really care about me truly being happy so much as they care about me being a specific way that puts them at ease and makes them feel more comfortable, or disappointing myself by putting my own self aside, putting my own self in the closet to appease everyone else around me, which isn't going to ever fully be possible. There's always going to be someone that has a problem. I think you're finally starting to choose yourself. And if you have been doing this for a while, I think you're coming into a newfound patience and compassion for yourself. Because when it comes to living a life in which you feel fulfilled, you have to enjoy the process of its unfolding. And if you try to gun it toward your dream life, but the means by which you get to that end are not healthy or sustainable, you will not be fulfilled at the outcome, because you'll feel like you put your entire life and self on hold to get to that point. And all that time, life isn't lived in big moments, big milestones. 99% of one's life is the little things that occur in the day-to-day. So I think what's unlocking for you, group 3, is a sense of enjoying the process and focusing on feeling fulfilled and feeling appreciative of all of the sweetness that life has to offer, and appreciating yourself, not when you make, $1 million, or not when you look a different way, or not when you achieve something tangible or material. What's unlocking for you is a transformation of how you perceive yourself and value yourself and what you value in life, what you value in the day-to-day, and how you perceive progress or success and the steps toward reaching certain material forms of success, and how that informs your sense of self-worth and self-confidence. Because you deserve to be, so long as you're not hurting anybody, and I mean like actually hurting somebody, not like, offending somebody because they think that, you should have a different job that looks better on paper or whatever. But I mean, so long as you're not doing genuine harm to anybody else, you deserve to love and appreciate yourself and to be happy, whether you have $1 million or whether you have a certain job title or not. And that's not to say that you're not going to, or you can't make $1 million or, like, I don't know, get your PhD in something, or, you know, achieve other traditional forms of success if that's what makes you happy, or if that's on the road that is the road of living your most fulfilled life and the life that makes you truly happiest in your heart. But that's not the thing that you're fixating on anymore. And if you allow yourself to appreciate life here and now, regardless of how close you are or far you are from whatever goals you've set for yourself or other standards others have imposed on you, you're honoring yourself and loving yourself unconditionally. And if you can operate from that center, from that authentic place, you will achieve not only your idea of success, but you'll get there more quickly and more sustainably and in a much more enjoyable way the whole way through than if you try to do so from a place of feeling ashamed of where you are now or disappointed in where you are currently or who you are currently. This is all about being in a flow state, which I'm seeing with the sensuality card, as well as all these cards having to do with a sense of stillness, stagnation, and imbalance, and this urge to clear out that stagnant energy. And entering a flow state means not worrying about or fixating on the desired outcome, because that kind of wrecks your performance. Not worrying too much or fixating on specific outcomes happening in specific time frames. You know, take that how it resonates. Obviously, I'm not saying to fall months behind on your rent or something, but I mean, if you planned on, say, making a certain amount of money by age 35, or getting married at a certain point in life and having this many kids by this age or whatever, letting those things, not just letting them go, but unpacking why you have those ideas that you need to have those specific things at specific points in time, where those ideas come from. And entering a flow state is about simply operating in the present moment, not projecting yourself into future possibilities and paralyzing yourself with anxiety about all of the potential outcomes, nor paralyzing yourself by ruminating with fear or disappointment about all of the things that haven't gone right up to the present. Releasing the past and the future to simply exist in the present moment and move within the present reality. I'm feeling way more spaced out with this group than with the other two groups. So I think really reflecting on the little things or the daily rituals or accessible things that make you feel most present in the day-to-day, and also most at peace, as well as most grateful to be where you are here and now. And trust me, I know there are moments where it feels awful to be alive, so I get that can feel really challenging at times. And I also certainly understand feeling disappointed with being at a certain place in your life after a very long time of being in that place, especially. But there's definitely a need to, or you are being strongly encouraged to reconnect to a sense of play, reconnecting to the things that you love to do, and prioritizing those more, not being all work and no play, because that's going to run you ragged. And the achievements you end up making, they'll feel hollow. But let's finish up your reading and pull some advice for you guys, group 3. So I'm going to leave these. I'm just going to put the advice cards down over these. Whoa! Wow. I don't know if I should take all of those. We'll see if they're meant to come out, they'll come out, but I really don't like pulling so many cards at once. So let's try that again. Spirit, what advice do you want to give group 3 when it comes to what parts of them are currently unlocking, please? Oh my god, that card came out before. Cool. Aw, this is so cute. So we have small steps, big accomplishments. This also came out for another group if you were drawn to another pile. Another group, I mean. There's no piles, really. It came out with card 32, Just Trust. So we have an 8 here and we have 32, which reduces to a 5. So yeah, what I'm seeing is, you know, if you've been working to live the life of your dreams, or make a living doing what you love, or working toward a certain goal that you've been pursuing from a place of passion, that, again, you know, it might seem like the little steps aren't adding up, and it might seem like you are not nearly as close to where you either thought you would be or where you'd like to be when you first set out on this path, but you're being encouraged to keep believing in yourself, to not get discouraged by where you're at, and to not let the naysayers get to you in these moments where, you know, it doesn't maybe look like you have a whole lot to show materially for all the work you've been doing, or you've been facing setbacks and you feel like maybe they were right, or maybe you're not being realistic enough. But Spirit, and also I, would like to encourage you to keep on taking little steps one at a time, and also, you know, be gentle with yourself throughout this process. Pace yourself so that you can actually live in a way that is sustainable for you, so that you don't burn out. And this mole is reminding me of, like, you know, feeling a little shy about, or a little unconfident about where you're at, or about what you're pursuing. And just know that you are getting there. When it comes to achieving your dreams, again, 99% of that is spent not in the moment of glory at the finish line, but on the way there, you know, doing that work. So make sure it comes from a place of actually feeling fulfilled in doing it. And it's not always gonna feel amazing. Like, some stuff just sucks to do sometimes, but to have confidence in all of the work that you've done thus far, and in your ability to see it through, to actually see your dreams manifest in reality, and to keep committing to showing up for them and for yourself every day, and show up in the world, you know, to not feel ashamed, to not hide in your little hidey hole, but to feel proud of all that you've done, even if it, again, isn't maybe materially obvious. I'm really anal about everything looking like, just everything being nice. So, anyway. Spirit, what advice do you want to give to group 3 about what parts of them are currently unlocking? Ooh. We have shungite, the crystal for blocking geopathic stress. Ooh, I almost dropped that. This card is mainly connected to the body, and it says cure-all, vibration, earthy and high, a profoundly earthing stone. Shungite protects your physical body and aura against harmful fields such as electric and magnetic field, EMF, smog, and geopathic stress, negative energy carried by the earth, generated by water, electromagnetic stress, and other disturbances. Research has shown that shungite absorbs that which is hazardous to health, whether it be pesticides, free radicals, bacteria and viruses, or microwaves and other vibrational emissions. Anecdotal evidence and scientific research suggests that shungite strengthens the immune system and assists cellular metabolism. It enhances enzyme production and provides pain relief. A natural detoxifier and anti-inflammatory, shungite has long been used to encourage wound healing. For the mind, it restores emotional equilibrium and provides reassurance, and the spirit assists out-of-body journeying, promotes tranquility. It is a black, graphite-like stone, and it may have a metallic luster. And again, that's what it looks like. I think for you, pile 3, or group 3, there's, again, an importance for you guys. It's important for you guys to ground yourself in the present and to feel safe. I think a crucial part of restoring a sense of equilibrium emotionally and in terms of your sense of self is going to be helped quite a bit by engaging in practices that connect you to your body in ways that make you feel good in the present, that help you feel at peace within your body and within your current environment. I'm definitely getting a sense, again with this shungite card and the mole here, of finding practices that help you feel safe to be yourself and to play and explore things that interest you and that make you feel happy and free, and to cultivate a sense of confidence in your ability to do these things without feeling guilty or ashamed while doing them, or like someone's gonna attack you or put you down for doing these things. But let's pull a final card of advice from Spirit for you guys, group 3. So, Spirit, what final advice would you like to give group 3 when it comes to what parts of group 3 are currently unlocking? I'll say that I think the heart chakra and sacral chakra, and also the solar plexus. I laughed because this is a solar plexus card. And also the solar plexus are chakras that you might want to look into finding ways of clearing out. I have found from my own experience, but I think this is just a thing in general, that certain movement practices, like certain forms of physical exercise, you might like to dance, maybe like dancing alone in a room with nobody else in it if you want, or around other people if you want to explore that. Might be a way for you to clear out some of the stagnant energy. I personally have found doing yoga daily is really, really helpful, and honestly kind of essential for me as someone who has dealt with a lot of similar stuff. But yeah, I mean, doing any things that help you tune out and clear out other people's bullshit, all that noise, and centering in yourself and listening to yourself and trusting yourself and connecting to any practices or resources that help encourage that, or also any things. Like, I know for me personally, like having a white noise machine and playing it if I need to tune out somebody else's, whatever noise somebody else is making, whether it's like outside or like within my living space, or using a white noise machine like outside of the door to a room if I want to keep somebody else from overhearing something that I'm doing that feels private. I've found that to be helpful in my own experience, but you know, maybe that's something that might help you guys out as well. But anyway, let's actually look at this card. So we have evolution, Melaleuca. Trigger statement, things will never change. True statement, I attract only what is for my highest good. The imbalances and relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. So yeah, I mean, pretty self-explanatory, but just another reminder that each little step you take has been adding up to something, and you are getting somewhere, even if it looks like you've just been spinning your wheels. So trust that you know what is right for you and what isn't, and to not feel like you need to keep any unhealthy influences in your life if all they do is take away from you and don't allow you to be yourself or to live life in a way that is fulfilling and healthy for you. But anyway, group 3, that is your reading. So I hope some of this resonated. This one, I will admit, I was more spaced out doing, so maybe that's something you guys are experiencing right now as you go through this. But yeah, just be patient with it. But I hope this was helpful. Feel free to leave any comments sharing your experience. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up or subscribing to my channel, and I hope I connect to you again in future readings. Until then, take care. Bye.